I was recently asked on Instagram, how much money do you recommend before starting a family? And this is interesting because I have a lot of thoughts on this. You're gonna wanna stick around if you are thinking about having a baby and you're also thinking about finances. Hey guys, this is Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush debt and live payment free. If you are here for that debt-free life, you're a millennial, you are thinking about having kids, maybe already had a kid, talking about finances, how that all factors into it, definitely hit the subscribe button and join us in our community. I want to start this video off by saying there is no amount of money that I could recommend before trying to have a baby. Mainly because this is such a personal choice and personal decision that has a lifelong impact. Regardless of your financial situation, whether you're a low-income earner or a high-income earner, having a baby, especially the first baby, and I can speak to that experience because I only have one baby, it just completely changes the way that you live your life. You know, going from 0 to 1 is a big transition, and to be honest with you, my daughter is almost 2 and I still feel like in transition from doing how I operated my life as just me and my husband to now operating my life as me, husband, and my daughter. And I don't think there's a right or a wrong to both. If you decide that you don't ever want to have kids, I think that's fantastic. If you decide that you want to have a baby and just have one, I think that's fantastic. If you want to have more, how? No, I think that's amazing too. I definitely think it's amazing to have multiples. It's a decision that you definitely want to be 100% about. Now, I also think that there is a fine line between wanting a baby and also being financially secure. There are certain scenarios that can dramatically impact this decision, right? Like if you are a person who is living below the poverty line and has, 6 figures in debt and you can barely meet your own basic living needs, think about being able to provide that for a little baby who can't do that for themselves. What kind of world would they be brought into? And I said this in another video, but I understand there are situations where unplanned pregnancies do happen. This video, we are talking about actively thinking about bringing in a baby into our lives, actively planning on getting pregnant. And if you were in that scenario, I would say like, whoa, let's back up. Let's make sure, like if you are living in a world of chaos, there's no way that you can help somebody else when you can't help yourself. So you really do have to help yourself first before you can add on other people. If you're in a stable relationship, a stable career, you are in your maybe 20s, 30s, you're thinking about starting a family, but you still have debt, please don't let debt hold you back from having a baby in that case, because I still feel that you can absolutely have a baby and while you're in debt. So long as you have a debt payoff plan in place and you are making steps to achieving debt freedom, I absolutely think that you can have a baby and have them be a part of that journey with you. Know that if you are planning on going that route and you're like, okay, I have my student loans, I have a car payment, I have a little bit of credit card debt, actively taking more action upon that debt is really going to help you bring this baby into a world where you feel a little bit more confident and calm with your finances instead of freaked out. Babies come with their own expenses. Sometimes those are unforeseen expenses, such as you may be planning on breastfeeding when in all reality, breastfeeding doesn't end up working and you have to switch to formula. Formula can get really expensive, not to mention just the normal cost of diapers and wipes, planning for the bigger purchases like a crib, a car seat, a high chair, those types of things will come into play. So that's going to take away from money that could have gone towards your debt. The way that I saw it, and I had started my debt-free journey when I was 23, the faster that I could pay off the debt, the faster that I could get to the true things that I really wanted to spend my money on. And I was never on the fast track to have kids. I was not in a rush for that. that I really wanted to take my time. In fact, let me tell you a little bit about what Kyle and I did. This was our own personal journey with like money and then baby. And I realized that our mentality may not be your mentality, but this is what happened for us. First, we paid off all of our debt. I had $35,000 in student loan debt that I paid off in 2.5 years. So I was just shy of 26 years old by the time I finished paying off my debt. Kyle had about $14,000 in student loan debt. He was really good at saving, and so when he graduated, he ended up taking all of his savings, most of his savings, and just completely paying off the debt in like one payment. So we became debt free. The next thing that we did is we really focused our first 5 years of marriage, travel and growth in our careers. So we went to places like Amsterdam, Australia, Paris, Mexico, Manchester, England, Austria. Like, we went to a lot of really cool places. We also traveled a lot domestically, visiting our friends. We moved to San Diego, and then we also really focused on building up our careers. I completely ditched the 9-to-5 corporate life to start my own business in marketing consulting, and then I pivoted into Debt Free Millennials, which I'm a full-time content creator now. And so I wanted to get that stable before I even thought about having kids. And then I had what I'm calling my baby moment, because Kyle and I had always talked about kids, especially when we were getting serious, when we were dating. We always talked about, like, Kyle was very specific. He wanted 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl. And then eventually that changed to, well, I'd have 2 or 4. And so I was like, okay. And then I started to think, well, okay, I would have 2. And so we were pretty aligned on that. We both wanted kids, and we both agreed that we wanted to wait. But he told me, he's like, when you are ready, you tell me. And that's how I know. And it was around April 2020, is like right after the pandemic hit, that we were sitting outside on our patio having a cocktail on lockdown, and I just had that moment where I was like, this doesn't even make sense that I want this right now, but I want to have a baby with you. And his eyes got really wide and he was like, okay. And I think he was just like a little scared, and then he was like, all right, yeah, like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna be practicing a lot. But as it happened, we ended up getting pregnant on the first try. I know that's not the case for a lot of people, but it was for us, and I don't know if it's just stars aligned or what, but that's what happened. And then Kyle was like, oh wow, like what? I thought this would take a long time to actually get pregnant, and I thought so too, but that was our kind of our baby moment. After that, I was able to start a maternity leave fund and open up a 529 college savings plan for our future baby. And I started a maternity leave fund because I'm self-employed. I don't get paid leave, so I really had to build up that over time, and I'm really thankful that I did, because it afforded me 4 months of completely paid leave. I didn't have to take a pay cut from my earnings, and then I could also gradually move into part-time care for another 3 months, and then finally got full-time care for our daughter by the time she was 7 months old. Now, if you're thinking about how much money you should have before having a child, I don't have a specific amount for you because every situation is different. What I do know, and what's true for me, is that once you get rid of the debt and you no longer have any payments, being debt-free affords you more options for having a baby. You have more choice with your money. What I mean by that is you have more money to dedicate towards things for baby. You can save up for a really nice car seat or a really nice nursery and decor. I mean, these things aren't really truly needed for a baby. I never had a true nursery for Quinn, and she still doesn't have a true nursery, but maybe these are some things that you're dreaming about. And I think debt freedom affords you choice for those options, and financial stability means that you get to bring home baby without bringing home any debt and not having a monthly payment. And I think that is like truly a beautiful thing and a beautiful legacy that you can leave to your future baby and your future children. So what do you think? In the comments below, is it okay to still have debt and have a baby? Are there some scenarios that you're like, absolutely don't have a baby in this case? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to start a conversation. If you like this one, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one.